to an object considered to be the remnant beams of Noah's Ark in Armenia, the biblical equivalent of Ararat. Above the country of the Minas in Armenia, a great mountain called Baris, where, as the story goes, many refugees found safety at the time of the flood, and one man transported upon the ark grounded upon the summit, and relics of the timber were for long preserved. So this was the book called Quest for Noah's Ark. So according to him, Noah's Ark is in Armenia. Julius Africanus in the 3rd century wrote more specifically about the location of the ark as follows: and the ark settled on the mountains of Ararat, which we know to be in Parthia. We also noted that the Elbron's mountains matched to what the real mountains of Ararat should look like according to a description by Sargon II in 714 BC. He recorded that the mountains of Urartu, Ararat, were like the spine of a fish, which were very high and impossible to cross. And George Rock's Ancient Iraq, London, Penguin Books. Now, we also find Mount Solomon in one of the several high mountains. So some people think that Mount Solomon, which is in Iran, is where it should be. But we have sufficient evidence to suggest that it has to be in Turkey. Mount Qudi. The Quran was written down from sayings of Muhammad in the 7th century AD and states that the ark came to rest on Al-Judi, or Mount Qudi in Turkish. Judi in Arabic can also mean the heights, in which case it is not referring to a specific mountain name at all. Now the Quran's quite specific that it's on the side of a hill, okay? And I think it says it's on the west side of a hill, to be specific. So why Mount Qudi? One big reason why Qudi has become more popular recent is that geologist Dr. Friedrich Bender in Germany found bits of wood containing asphalt on the summit of Qudi. Now this Qudi is a different Qudi. This is way south of Mount Ararat, way south. There's a place called Mount Qudi, and some people think that's where Noah's Ark landed. So they found bits of wood containing asphalt on the summit of Qudi in 1953. These fragments were carbon dated around 1971 to 6,500 years before the present time. And recently Dr. Willis and Bill Kruse theories that the wood was part of Noah's Ark. So they built a little monastery there, and they think that's where Noah's Ark was. There was also debate as to the location of the real Mount Qudi. For at least the last couple of hundred years, Qudi has been the name of a high peak or ridge of Mount Ararat. There was another Qudi Dagi in south central Turkey near Sanli and Haran, where the biblical patriarch Abraham lived. And the people around Haran believe that their Qudi Dagi is the actual site where Noah's Ark landed. As well, there was another Al-Judi in Saudi Arabia, and still others have claimed that Durupina site is located on Mount Qudi. In fact, on this site here, the locals identified that mountain as Mount Judi or Qudi. So this is the cloister they found on one of these Mount Qudis, and they think this is where Noah's Ark was, and they built this using the wood from Noah's Ark. But again, there's no proof. As I said, some claim it's in Iran and Mount Solomon. They think they found petrified wood, and this is done by someone called the Base Institute. Someone called Bob Kunuk thinks he's found it in Iran. Now what's his evidence? What do you reckon he's got? He says the object consists of dark rock with an uncanny beam-like appearance in several places. The colour and texture of the rock appears to be unique in the area. The object fixed the approximate dimensions of Noah's Ark, which is debatable. And some samples tested by an independent lab showed signs of petrified wood. Doesn't still mean it's Noah's Ark. The object is 13,000 feet, but the nearest tree is about 8,000 feet. And Solomon means Solomon's throne. It is the only mountain we know in the Middle East outside of Israel with a Hebrew name. And wood at the summit, which may be from the shrine, has been dated to around 500 years old. So that makes it not possible. They found abundant sea life in the adjacent summit. So why did they find sea life way up in the mountain? Which again shows that there was a worldwide flood. And they found microscopic sea life in the rock samples from the object, which they think must be a boat then, if it's got sea life attached to it. And all major climates are close by along with all the ecosystems. So they're saying basically there was a flood, it shows there was a flood, and therefore Mount Ararat is not the place, it's Mount Solomon in Iran. But that doesn't fit in with all the historical records or the testimonial eyewitnesses that have seen it. So, but they're convinced that it's here. So they're saying this is wood from Noah's Ark, but you can also find this from Thailand, and it looks very much the same. Most of the geologists, archaeologists, and people that are into the Ark finds do not believe that this is Noah's Ark. So alleged eyewitness possibilities. I won't go through all the names, but one, eyewitnesses were lying and purposely made up or distorted their stories. Okay, or eyewitnesses saw rock formations and were deceived, or eyewitnesses told the truth and are correct that a boat is there on the mountain or mountains of Ararat. By the way, Noah's Ark has been found in Holland. Have you read about this one? They found Noah's Ark in Holland. Now, in 1959, Turkish Air Force pilots were taking photographs of Urartu, the mountains of Ararat, and they found this. And I thought, that looks very unusual. What does it look like to you? Looks like a boat, doesn't it? They sent these pictures to someone called Dr. Brandenberger of Ohio University. This Dr. Brandenberger, he was the one during the time of Kennedy when they saw the missiles in Cuba, and he identified these missiles. Okay, so this man was a world expert on photogrammetry. And when he saw this photo, his immediate reaction was, that is a ship. In 1959, this unusual symmetrical outline was photographed from the air at an altitude of 2,000 meters in the mountains of the south of Mount Ararat, and news of the find quickly spread around the world. So Dr. Arthur Brandenberg, a world famous expert in photogrammetry, who said, I have no doubt at all that this object is a ship. In my entire career, I have never seen an object like this on a stereo photo. Even the approximate length of the object fits the length of Noah's Ark. Then it appeared in Life magazine in 1960. Could this be Noah's Ark? So a team from America went. An expedition spent a day and a half at the site but didn't find anything promising, and most of the team concluded it was an anomaly of nature, but the scientists and the team felt that they needed more investigation. That was Dr. Brandenberger said that this place needs to be excavated. So what they did, they dug and dug and they couldn't find anything, so they decided, let's get some dynamite and let's blow a hole in it and see what we get. Now they had an expectation. Now if you read the Bible and you think Noah's Ark landed on Ararat or Mount Ararat, you have an expectation that you'd find a boat, wouldn't you? So they had this expectation that they would find a nice little wooden boat, okay, buried in mud. So when they came to the site, they just found rock. So they put some dynamite, which is very good archaeology, isn't it? Let's put some dynamite there, blow a hole in the area, and they didn't see anything. They saw some rock that looked like timber, but they said it's rock, so it can't be Noah's Ark. And they said, waste of time, this isn't Noah's Ark. Then something happened. Oh, by the way, some people claim that if you take other pictures, right, you can make Noah's Ark out of anything. You see these little squiggly lines, right? And some people call these the lifeboats of Noah's Ark. But if you notice, these pictures have been taken at a slant. You can make pictures out of anything if you take a certain angle. Okay, the picture that we saw previously was from directly above. Something happened in 1978. There was an earthquake. So this was before the earthquake, and this was after the earthquake. And basically, what happened was the soil and the land around the ark, it fell away and exposed more of the boat, or what they thought could be the boat. So this was before, and this was after. Now there was a man called Ron White. I knew him personally, okay, and he was convinced that this was Noah's Ark. So he set out to do field work there. And he found these. He found what looked like rib timbers of the boat. So how long was Noah's Ark? The length